If you've ever thought about getting into private aviation, this is a great time to do it because there's so many different kinds of planes to choose from. Traditional planes like Cessnas and Pipers are kind of neat things like this. This is a Yak-55. It's actually made in Russia for aerobatics. But today we're going to focus on a specific aspect of aviation, kit planes. And these are planes you can order the parts, put them together yourself. You can hire someone to build it for you, or you can pick up one used that's already been assembled. Well, here to help us sort all that out is my friend James McCaughley. He grew up around airplanes. Both of his parents are pilots. He spent time in the military flying choppers, and now he's sort of a semi-pro aerobatics pilot. He knows tons about this stuff. So for aviation, James is my go-to guy. James, what do you have for us?
You know, kit planes are a great way to maximize your dollar in building a high-performance airplane for reasonably little money. We're going to go visit a friend of mine, Walter, who's putting together a two-place, side-by-side, all-metal airplane. We're going to go fly over and see how he's doing. Clear prop!
Flying around in small homemade airplanes can be risky business, even if you know what you're doing. So you'd think this is a decision that wouldn't be taken lightly.
Did I just wake up one morning and decide I was going to build an airplane? And that's pretty much what happened. The first thing that anybody asked me is how am I going to get it out of the garage? And the wings come off.
So, Walter, what makes this a home-built airplane? I mean, why couldn't they just ship you the airplane in a box? You snap the wings on and call it a home-built.
The FAA requires you to build at least 51% of an experimental aircraft in order to be considered an experimental aircraft. A lot of people take a class to learn how to build one of these airplanes. One of the things that the instructor wanted to make sure of was that we were safe. Last hour of the last day of the class, I put a drill bit through my finger. The only person to do it. But I am building, and I have not put another drill through my finger. These rivets are actually what holds the airplane together.
Let me show you how this is put together. This is put together much like your 747 or any airliner you fly in. It's virtually the same materials and same construction method. The skin of the airplane is most of the strength of the airplane, just like a lobster or an insect or something like that. And then underneath, the underlying structures are small stringers and formers like a boat. The devices you see here, these are like temporary rivets. They're used to hold everything in place before you pound real rivets in. To put it all in perspective, this airplane has roughly 20,000 holes that have to be filled with rivets. And in order to do that, most of them are pre-punched from the factory. They have to then be sized with a drill bit. The parts have to be separated. Each hole has to be dimpled 20,000 times, and then it has to be filled with a rivet. Throughout the whole airplane, 20,000 times.
I think people who have a better half need to make careful consideration about the amount of time they're going to spend in their garage away from family. I'm not married and I don't have a family, so I can spend as much time in the garage as I want. Once you get it to this stage, it seems like it's almost ready to fly, but it still has another 10 months at least.
Still a lot of work.
I told James we weren't going to wait around for another 10,000 rivets. I wanted to see one of these babies in action. And you know what? So did Walter.
Unbelievably, Walter's building an airplane that he's never even flown in. So Dan here is going to satisfy that need and hook him up. Have some fun.
I'm excited. Let's go.
Now, because these planes are two-seaters, David and Walter will take the RV-7, and James will fly along in his Kristen Eagle.
Takeoff is brisk. You feel some good G's. It really goes.
Because they're so responsive to the pilot's inputs, these planes really lend themselves to stunt and close formation flying.
This is just an awesome airplane. Unbelievable.
All right, so far so good. But really, what test drive would be complete if you don't get to, you know, drive?
Okay, you want to take the plane a little bit? Go for it. Just keep it real stable. Easy for you to say. I haven't flown one of these yet. It's just unbelievable. Blows my mind.
You know, I think he likes it.
I think I'll take a couple months off and finish my airplane.
Yeah.
Let's face it, there aren't many people who will spend 2 years of their lives building what's essentially a giant model airplane. But I do the math this way. Whatever you fly, drive, or ride, woohoo! The more time and energy you put into exploring your motoring passion, the more pride and satisfaction you'll get out of it.
That was awesome, Dan. Thank you very much. Love your good time.
For Life in the Fast Lane, I'm Steve Knapp.